I hate to break up the rich dialogue because I can both tell from going down there, but in sitting up here, I can sense that this conversation could continue for a while. But what I would love to do now is actually turn this question to our youth leaders and hear some reflections and key lessons you all are thinking about. I'll start with you, Jamisha.
Yeah, and so I'm so happy to be here. This is actually my 4th time attending an OYIF convening, and so I've had the opportunity to learn so much. And so while Monique has talked about some themes and narratives that we have been privy to at these convenings, I really want to just go head in on that. And so I have some notes, sorry if I'm looking down. And so I really want to talk about this sort of heartbreaking narrative. For me, it's very heartbreaking when we talk about the harsh realities of essentially my community and my family. And so we have some themes that have really resonated with me that have come up, such as over-identification in special education, the school-to-prison pipeline, mass incarceration. And so it's often heartbreaking to see these young people who are being affected by these very difficult and challenging circumstances. And so what I want to offer to you all is that I really would like for us not to forget that we can really make an impact and create change by walking in love and hope. And we heard a little bit about that, especially through Carmen's story, and that really resonated with me and my message that I wanted to give you all today. And so this work is from what I've also experienced, an inside-out process. And so I always would like to offer that we check ourselves as we do the work, and as we uplift our young people, making sure that our motives are authentic and that we utilize love and hope and respect for humanity as a best practice.
Thank you, Jamisha.
So I'm Amanda, and this is my first time actually at the convening. And so I think one lesson that really stuck out to me is the idea of growing together. So while we want to make all of these big changes within our organizations and in our communities and across the country and in the world, I don't want to lose sight of the idea of improving upon yourself and being the best leader that you can be, and taking all the skills and all of the things that we're learning here and bringing them back home.
Thank you, Amanda.
Hello, family. How y'all doing? So, Jamiel Alexander, thank you again for the opportunity as a fellow, and I just want to respect the team. I love you all for the opportunity and just growing with this. And one thing that kind of resonated throughout, and even intentionality with the young leaders as far as building relationships, as far as they're coming the first day on Monday while everybody else is kind of flying in, and just being intentional about it, and even just kind of seeing how we're growing together, and even if they can't come to this particular convening, we're still staying connected and just being rooted and grounded in that love, because even through the relationships, the 2 brothers that I look up to that spoke, and I'm sure you all can kind of understand, it was 2 different ways of approaching as far as the deficit is concerned, but it was so rooted and grounded in love that even though they disagreed, they respect each other, and me looking to them in a way where we in this thing together, when it's all said and done, continue to build the relationships and take it back home. So
Yeah. Thank you. So what I'm hearing from you all is remembering the most important ingredient in all of this is the love that is key to the relationships that you all are making, not only with each other, but certainly with the adults in your life. And as you continue on this pathway, the role of trust, that also informs how you are in relationship with others and relationships with adults and everyone collectively as part of this movement. And then Amanda's so eloquently reminding us of taking care of ourselves is also part of how we take care of others and how we are in relationship with each other, which we also know is critical to how we sustain this work as well. And so thinking about how those lessons have been pulled out over the last couple of days. So with those reflections from our youth leaders, I'm curious to hear what other conversations took place at your tables. We have a couple of, thanks Shakima, mic runners.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shakima Fulmore-Townsend from Philadelphia, and we had a discussion that was twofold. One was about equity and how powerful the narrative that we heard today and yesterday was, and how we need to really reflect on our organizational practices and how we can apply that lens to our daily work. The second thing we talked about was true and authentic youth engagement. And so how do we think about replacing ourselves around the table with the young people and the brilliance that comes to this community? And how do we engage them in all aspects of our work, both here and when we're back at home?
Thank you, Shakima. Do we have any other reflections from the audience?
Look like Jacob saying something, but he.
Does he need a mic?
Yeah, Jacob needs a mic.
Hey everybody, my name is Jacob. I'm representing the Del Norte and adjacent tribal lands area of Northern California. And what I want to say as far as like the things that I've taken away from this convening, this is my second time. My first was in New Orleans, where I got to meet my new family, which I like to think of all y'all as that. And the thing that I've really kind of honed in on this time with the workshops and the speakers who we've got to see is about collaboration. Mm-hmm. Collaboration, inviting the unusual suspects. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody keeps talking about. And I think that if we are to really form new models and make new systems, you have to get the unusual suspects, because it's always preaching to the choir, you know? We're all on board, but there are people out there with resources and with tools who we haven't tapped into yet. And I'm including youth in that as well. Youth that we don't account in some of our dealings, that we think that we're helping, but we're not really bringing their true narrative to the work that we're doing. So thank you. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I actually think both of these responses, what was so great about them is because they really do transition us well. They're a segue into the second question, which is about the implications of the lessons learned for when you return back home. So if you all could take about another 5 minutes to be in dialogue with each other regarding your response to this question, we'll kick it off once again by hearing from our youth leaders. Thank you, and thank you for making him. Yeah, thank you. That was perfect. You guys rocked it. Rocked it. Right. Thank you for that.